which has led to what now you see, which has led you to stay without electricity over the weekend. There has been ongoing, which is recorded even on the AG report for the past 8 years, overtime abuse. When I came into this office, which is your office, and by the way, not my office, I'm just a caretaker there to look after it. I picked up that the overtime per month was hitting between 2.7 million a month and 3 million. And then I started to question that and verify that, to say, is it real that we should be paying so much amount per month? Is the community of Abakulusi affording to pay such a huge amount? Then immediately I called upon my executive, of which they were very supportive on my idea to turn this thing around. And then we said, we prepare a document to say, no, I want this thing to be investigated. Then it got to the point where we said that the internal auditor must produce the report. The findings of the report are damning. Damning. It's a report that you will not be happy as a person who buys electricity or pay for refuse or pay for sewer. You won't be happy to look at it. You will blow your gasket in any way. But I said I'm not going to take my way back and say, no, fine, let it go as is. I'll put my foot on it. And then I started to reduce that over time from 2.7, then right down to 1.2 per month. Then they became very unhappy with that. This is where it started. The first finding on the report, there are workers who are above threshold by the bargaining chamber, then which has been agreed upon. A person earning above 235,000 doesn't qualify to receive overtime by law. They don't qualify. Now, I'll list those for your personal benefit. It's your management, your assistant managers, your foremans. Then it goes down to your electricians. Because your electricians, as we speak, although we don't have to disclose their financial position, but it is true that they are earning above 25 per month, 25,000 a month. That is where they are sitting, your electricians. So by law, they don't qualify to have overtime. And we have picked up that a lot of the senior management, some of the management were claiming overtime over and above that they were not supposed to do. The second thing was that when we look at it, we found that there were some, I can tell you more than 10, were claiming overtime whilst they were on leave. They are on leave, but they still claim overtime. Somebody is not on duty in the morning, then in the afternoon comes and claims the overtime, then it gets paid. Simple. Paid. Freely. Just simple, freely, and get it. And then I said, we have to deal with those people that are actually approving that overtime. Because it starts from the foreman straight to the supervisor, to the assistant, to the manager, straight to the director, and director cooperates right to the MM. Then the MM approves it, then it gets paid. Then I said, I need a resolution to deal with this matter. Then I got it from ESCO, and then I got it from council as well, because I tabled that report to them. And then immediately I consulted AG, and I also consulted Labor Department, and then immediately we decided that no, you will have to either you apply for it, apply for an exemption for them so that they can qualify to get it in the form of a council resolution. But in terms of the law, that money needs to be paid back. As from 8 years ago, there must be a cost recovery from those people, because that money didn't belong to them. We are failing. You saw it on a story on your newspaper that we are in an arrangement with ESCOM to pay the outstanding debt. And then now you fail to pay ESCOM, but you are paying a huge amount to somebody on overtime. The worst scenario was when I picked up that there were people who were claiming 178 hours a month. It's black and white, what I'm talking about. 178 hours a month. And then get paid the whole amount. In terms of agreement, you have to pay only 40 hours is allowed by law to be worked on overtime per month. Not more than that. When we do the calculation of hours, we only found some of the workers were actually, if you were saying that they were working, they only had either 20 minutes or 30 minutes of their own family time or spare time. This person doesn't go to toilet, doesn't go for tea, doesn't even eat, because he's always on duty 23 hours, 30 minutes, non-stop. If you look at the payment, over and above their basic salary, they were earning 3 times more. You've got your basic salary, and you've got your benefits, and then on overtime, you're squandering 3 salaries more above your own salary. Then the management last week had to sit the MENCOM and deal with the matter, and then they were engaged. We engaged the unions, and on the LLF there is a forum that we call Local Labor Forum. We engaged them to outline the report, and then immediately we took a stand and then said last month, because if you don't deal with it, it has already been identified, then I would have no option but to charge you. If you pay this huge amount of money, by law, there is only one, the only buck stops with you as an MM, because you are the one that is an accounting officer. So if you don't deal with this, try to reduce this burden over the consumers, then that will mean I'll have to deal with you. I'll take a report to council, because this is taxpayers' money. There are people that are not affording to pay their bills, and then they get disconnected, and then they are not getting the right service that they are supposed to be getting. That is the problem. That is the problem to me. So, come the 25, he didn't approve the amount of money that they were supposed to be getting of overtime. Then he only paid according to the standard. Only paid them 40 hours extra. Although some of them don't qualify, but he had a courtesy to pay them that 40 hours per month. Then the remainder was not approved, subject to the motivation, so that you'll know exactly what was the motivation. So the director technical next to me has to motivate and tell us exactly whether was supposed to be done, and he must explain in details that yes, I did observe that person worked more than 5 hours because of the type of work that he was doing, and I did approve that he must continue with it. Then that was not available. After that was not available, then the finance has to only pay what was due, which was only 40 hours. The previous week, Thursday, then there comes your technicians, your electrician. They started to rebel against the municipality. Last week, Thursday, they started to shut down the area in Monlo because they are saying that no, they were not paid. They shut the whole area down. And then I spoke to the MM, then he went to speak to them. Then he said, no, it's because we are no longer going to attend to standby. That was their first approach on that day. No, we are not going to work on standby. Then they said, no, you have to go and work on standby because all you need to do, just break even within your hours and make sure that you work according to the standards. Then they pretended as if they were going to work. They attended all the daily complaints on the next day. The following day, they didn't attend any complaint that was coming, any breakdown that came from the consumers. Nothing, not zero. I've got some SMSs that are received at 9 in the morning on Thursday, where they had some breakdown. It was not attended until yesterday. Up until today, they were not attended. 2. I got 10 already. Then the next thing, yesterday, I think you remember that there was a shutdown in town. They went on and then shut down the whole town down, and then immediately then we activated the assistance of the private company to come and assist, and then the town was back. But there was a lousy excuse to say, no, it was not us. It was ESCOM. Just a simple lousy excuse. ESCOM had no problem because I contacted ESCOM. They had zero problem on their side. The next thing, they just simple close all the cell phones. Remember, these cell phones are municipal cell phones. They are given cell phone together with the cell phone allowance, and they switch them off. Immediately yesterday when I drove to town, because I had some complaints, and then I said, let me come and check myself so that I will be more informed rather than to be told. Then I visited. I met one of the staff in the electricity department. Then I stopped him. Why are you not attending? Then he said, please, Mr. Mayor, don't mention my name. We were instructed to switch all the cell phones because we are not going to attend any until we are paid overtime. We demand that we need to be paid all the outstanding overtime, and then we demand that we must be giving an authority for the overtime. I said, where did we decide on that? He said, no, our union leaders told us, and then also the foremen told us, And then if I were to open my phone, I would become a traitor to the decision. So I'm not going to do anything. Then the next thing, they walk away with the keys of all substations. Were with them, together with the cars. Then they kept them. So this is what led to this crisis that we are faced with. That's why I'm very apologetic about it. And the message that they are saying that now they are not going to work on standby, that's something that, I'm sorry, I don't want to say that word. But this is something that we are not going to tolerate. Not at all. First thing this morning, I called upon the MM. I sat with him. Now I'm going to the corrective measures. I called the MM, and then I called all the section managers together with the director in the MM's office. Then I said to them, I want justice to be done. And then we have agreed in two things. Firstly, all those electricians that didn't work, no work, no pay. We're not going to pay them for those days that they didn't work. Secondly, is that we are intending to suspend them within 48 hours, because this is a huge impact. In terms of the aura, they are in essential service. They are not qualifying to hold back their work. So we are going to suspend them. So said he's going to suspend them immediately, then within 48 hours. Then the second thing that we have engaged the private contractors, your Kambule and others, to take over the responsibility on our behalf, because we can't let you down and keep you in the dark, not knowing exactly what needs to be done, because you need the service and you pay for your service. And you deserve to be treated as human beings, irrespective of color or creed. That's my principle. I believe that everybody is equal in the country, and you deserve to be treated and be protected. Now, the only thing that I should do is to protect you. So I will do whatever is possible within my powers to protect you. I will never allow your money to be squandered for free during this hard time of finances in the country. So this is what I can share with you